The battle between Insect Hashira Shinobu Kocho and Upper Rank Two Doma was the very first confrontation inside the Infinity Castle. Among the several battles that occurred within the castle, this particular clash stands out among the notable clashes that took place there. Let's delve into this pivotal battle. As Doma is consuming a group of female disciples inside Nakime's Infinity Castle, he notices Shinobu at the entrance to his room. He reacts with delight at having another male walk right into his room, and he thanks Nakime. One of his disciples, still alive, begs Shinobu to save her, and Doma, irritated by this, attempts to finish her off, only for Shinobu to jump in and save her. She asks the young woman if she is alright, but before she can answer Shinobu's question, the young woman falls to pieces and dies right in front of her eyes. Angered by this and Doma's insistence that he save the girl by killing her, Shinobu notices a pair of sharp fangs that Doma uses as his main weapon and angrily inquires if he remembers the Haori that originally belonged to her elder sister. Doma finally remembers her by the butterfly wing design Haori that Kanae once wore and playfully expresses his disappointment at not being able to eat Kanae due to the sun rising, which further angers Shinobu. The Insect Hashira swiftly launches an attack at him, using her insect breathing, dance of the bee sting through flutter, to inflict a powerful stab directly in Doma's right eyeball, which impresses him since he states he was unable to block it with his hand in time. He then unleashes his blood demon art, Frozen Lotus, towards Shinobu with her back flipping away from his attack. Although he is initially dismissive of her, since he correctly guessed that she lacks the physical strength to cut off a demon's head, he becomes excited upon learning that Shinobu's true strength lies in poisoning her opponents. Shinobu hopes that the poison will be effective enough to kill him, but then learns much to her disappointment that Doma had already received information regarding her poison from her battle against the daughter of the spider family. Doma managed to break down and render her poison non-lethal, healing himself from her attack. She is further backed into a corner due to Doma now rapidly developing antibodies and adjusting his body against her poison so that after a mere 5 slashes and injections of poison, he is now resistant to it entirely. Additionally, due to his blood demon art of frozen mist, it is becoming increasingly difficult for Shinobu to breathe. Now hedging her bets on injecting a large dose to kill him by using a 6-stab attack, Shinobu strikes him using her insect breathing, dance of the dragonfly compound eye hexagon, and successfully hits him. However, as she attacks him, he simultaneously attacks her, cutting both her collarbone and ribs and puncturing one of her lungs, finally near her wit's end, and almost losing any hope of victory. Shinobu attempts to draw strength from relaying her older sister's word of encouragement in her head and reminding herself of her promise to Kanao. Doma, seeing the injured young woman barely able to stand, is convinced she can no longer attack and plans to behead her to finish her suffering. Shinobu then prepares to strike at Doma once more, despite her serious injuries and the immense pain she was in, and attacks him using her insect breathing, dance of the centipede 100-leg zigzag, to confuse him. Shocked by the attack, Upper Rank 2 is unable to hit his opponent and barely grazes her Haori. She strikes Doma directly through his neck, impaling him and sending him flying towards the ceiling. Exhausted and wounded, Shinobu is triumphant upon seeing Doma being poisoned and seemingly dying from her attack. However, Doma recovers almost instantly from her attack, which makes Shinobu further enraged. Now exhausted, fatally injured, and dangerously near death, Shinobu is caught by Doma as they are about to fall from the ceiling. He embraces her in a bear hug and begins mocking her, calling her entire attempt to defeat him a waste of effort, assuring her she will die peacefully as a part of him, and mockingly asking her for her last words. She spitefully curses him as he begins to kill her. Doma breaks Shinobu's back and begins to absorb her, just as her disciple Kanao Suyuri arrives at the scene. In the Hashira's final moments, she manages to signal to her Suguko with her hand. Her death causes Kanao to go berserk with anger and she attacks the upper rank with her flower breathing. Fourth form, Crimson Hanagoromo, only to be repelled by an irritated Doma who tells her not to interfere with him as he is in the middle of absorbing someone. He successfully absorbs Shinobu's entire body until her butterfly-shaped hairpiece is the only thing left of her. And that's how Shinobu Kocho met her end.
どうしたって許せない夢もっと